Welcome back, guys. We're very, very late into this, but welcome nonetheless. We just apparently missed out on that pissed round, unfortunately, but aTTaX did take it. We're into Train, the final map, or the final match of the night. This is, of course, the grand finals. Euronics versus aTTaX, a pretty huge match we had ahead of us. Harry, you're here with me. You're hyped. You're excited. You're filled up with strepsils.
I'm very excited, and like you said, I mean, Train looks different from what I last remember, Hugo. I actually believe it is going to be Cbble as the first one, unless they've gone for a very, very contemporary design with this station. It's very grand, and there's no tracks, not a train in sight. But I tell you what, there's a train as they make their way towards this B site. They get shut down in the process, though, as aTTaX. They are making quick work of these players in the site, although they do lose both NKJ and Gimpen in the process. Now, quick to execute the remaining players. It's going to be the second round on the board for aTTaX, as they take a 2-0 scoreline.
They do indeed. And yeah, I mean, going into this matchup, Harry, we had a little bit of a discussion before. Now we're on this full eco. Let's have a little bit of a talk. You mentioned this map pool for today, for this final map. Final match heavily favours Euronics, but again, aTTaX, a team that have a lot more experience, a team that have a lot more international experience, and supposedly better. However, they are fighting with only a 3-man core roster. Both Kiev and KZY aren't playing here today, so predictions are going to be a bit skew-if here in this matchup, and I'd really like to hear what you have to think.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's going on right now, a little bit of a throwaway for the study Euronics. So if there was a time to talk about it, I guess now is the time. And I mean, you know, I do think the map choices, the way the veto system came in and the way that it's worked out, it does kind of benefit Euronics, especially considering aTTaX aren't playing with their full roster. I mean, when we look at the maps that we've been allowed to go through, it's going to be Cbble, I believe is Cbble is the first one, obviously. Then we got Overpass. The decider is going to be Mirage. Cbble is one that historically aTTaX haven't really had the best time on. In the last 3 months, they've gone 4-3 on it, having like a 53% win rate, which is less than ideal. But throughout the season, they've actually done a relatively good job. They've gone 3-0 on it so far, but that's nothing in comparison to the 8-2 that Euronics are currently sitting on. Quite happy. So this one could really go either way, but a lot of it does depend on how things come up in these buy rounds. Now we're going to be seeing the decisions, of course, of Euronics. Just to buy on up, we have got 4 rifles in play and a UMP on David K. aTTaX making their way towards the B site.
Yeah, seems to be the case. Smokes are going to go down, flashes to follow as well, and we have Fails are very, very close up here on the stairs. He's going to be able to spot out NKJ. First kill coming out for him. He does follow up. That's 2 in the bag, but Crispy trades. However, it's going to be a 2-for-1 favouring the CT side. However, Tizian comes back in with a kill of his own. The bomb dropped over towards Pato. Nice work there by Otto, cleaning up the last 2 kills. And Harry, may I just say, give me a prediction. Obviously, Cbble, Train, Mirage. Who's picking up each map?
Okay, I think Cbble is going to get away Euronics.
Yep.
I think Train could potentially also go the way Euronics. So I'm actually going to be quite ballsy on my prediction and say 2-0, but I have a feeling aTTaX aren't going to let that happen. Yeah,
I was about to say exactly the same thing, but however, that being said, aTTaX are a very dangerous team, even with only 3 players from their main roster. You know, losing out their Warper and their star player, Kiev, I'm sure they can still make some damage. Let's see how it goes. But either way, into this buy round, it's straight off the bat an uphill battle with Scrunk. He's going to be able to catch out the first Matrix pushing player Crispy. The trade will come through, and aTTaX, they're fast hitting this A site. These rotations have got to be on point here for Euronics, and they're going to start to do it very, very well. We still have this player up towards upper long, and that's going to be dangerous considering that is 3-man here, so they haven't cleared out that position just yet. David is towards the back of the SWAT van underneath the balcony, and this close range weapon, it's going to be great at close range, but no, Gimpen's going to take the long range engagement, succeeding in that one as well. But 3-man, he's come out on the flank. They haven't checked it. He's dropped the bomb. Going to try and follow up. They spotted him out now, but he's still unable to land anymore. It's all on Fails here now. Gets himself one, but they know where he's coming from, so they're going to be ready for it. He will just round the corner right into the site of NKJ, who will actually pick up the round there for aTTaX. Nice work there in picking up a 4-1, but now the money on Euronics is looking pretty dire.
I mean, yeah, it's a bit annoying seeing 3-man having that long position. If he'd shown just a little bit more discipline with you know, his trigger finger there, if it wasn't just so itchy to pick up those first couple of frags, could have very well seen him coming from behind, maybe pick up 1-2 kills. Instead, we only see 1, then he kind of whiffs the next couple of shots when he gets caught in the crossfire. So a little bit of a shame. As we head into this one, though, it is going to be a bit of a force right now for the side of Euronics. David K has the M4, Deagles 5.7s, and CZs are plenty across everyone else. And on the side of aTTaX, just 5 rifles for the sheer momentum and aggression We continue into this one. You can see they grab control of mid early on. They're not going to allow any sort of rush tactics to come out from the side of Euronics. They also keep 3 players relatively passively over towards B. Fowler, of course, holding up close and personal with a 5-7 on the other side of this smoke. Alternate aTTaX trying to take control of the drop down, and they do so uncontested as well for the time being.
Yeah, Tizzy just gets spotted out there in the drop-down area. He's not going to be able to commit to anything too heavy. This pistol at a close range is going to be very, very dangerous. So Otto, he needs to watch out for him right now because that's going to be a one-shot headshot at this kind of distance. However, Alternate aTTaX taking this one slow. The time is still heavily in their favour, so they haven't got a huge amount of pressure to push, but they are eventually going to set their sights towards his plateau. Fails him, missing the jump. That's key, but he's going to peek out regardless. Searson takes that first frag, and now Alternate aTTaX, they're leading this one with a man up as they storm into this B site. 3-man's towards the back of the chicken coop, but he's going to get mollied out of position. The deagle not going to work out. He gets himself one, though. That's it. Otto nets another kill, but he will go down eventually, and Skrunk, he retrieves an M4 off of David, but he won't be able to succeed in his endeavours, and Alternate aTTaX, a 5-1 start. I feel like I almost want to take back my prediction, Harry, because we're seeing another eco from Euronics, and a 6-1. It's got to be almost guaranteed.
I mean, yeah, it is looking very good for them right now, but they are on the T side. Famously, we see aTTaX kind of do a little bit worse, at least throughout this league, the second they switch onto that CT side. That is because, you know, they're a very kind of impact frag team where they rely on a couple of key players, even more so, though, since the, since they are playing with 2 stand-ins. So you would expect to see them fielding a very competitive scoreline on the T side. I would say if they get 8 rounds, 9 rounds, then they're definitely within a shot of taking Cbble. Even then, I don't think we can count Euronics out. It is going to be an eco this round, so it should go to 6-1 here, unless Euronics can pull something truly sensational out from underneath their sleeves, but it doesn't look to be the case. Tizian drops one out. They continue this just unrelenting aggression on towards the site, shut down everyone here, leaving it all on Skrunk. He has got a USP. He's coming in from that A site very, very slowly but surely, just trying to pick up potentially 1 or 2 frags if he can.
Yeah, and for those questioning, I can see a lot of you in chat, the little numbers that sometimes appear on the players' names, those are the heart rates, the beats per minute. There are 2 numbers. One is the resting heart rate right before the game the players each had. Harry, with the suppository heart rate monitors, took their heart rate right before the match, and then there's a live one as well. So when you see a player in the clutch, for example, keep an eye on the heart rate monitor, and it may shoot up a fair little bit as well. So it's always interesting. We've been watching that throughout the day, and it's very interesting to see how sometimes people spike when they're in a clutch situation, or when their teammates are trying to clutch it out. It's very fun to watch. So it's always a good addition. So shout out to ESL for that. But back into the game anyway, and a bit of a clean-up as we expected there. The anti-eco not going to be too lucrative there for the Euronics side. They are going to be pulling in the big guns now. The AWP's out on Failser. They've got the full rifles as well. No kits, that's one thing to worry about. If we see a bomb down for Alternate aTTaX, the clock is going to be ticking not in the favour of these CTs, and the AWP is already going to miss his key shot. That's going to be the pick given away, and unable to be successful here for the CT side. And the second one as well. Failser, he needs to hit these shots. Pushing down into middle instead. Oh, catches out Tizzy, and that's a great shot there. Tries to follow up, but Skrunk will do the damage instead. Crispy gets that shot, and it's going to be able to be. It's going to be down. Sorry, to a 3 versus 2. 1 minute 20 on the clock left as a flash goes in, and NK is going to be committing to this A site with his teammate here. They're going to try and get themselves back with this bomb on the site as well, but Euronics, they do have the massive man advantage.
Yeah, NQJ, sorry, coming in from behind, the only kind of diamond in the rough here, allowed to drop out 1, keeps the aggression going. David K, where were you looking, David? It's the story of David versus Goliath. Sadly, though, this time it wasn't David in the biblical sense. It was actually just David K. And, well, he went down like a sack of bricks. We're going to be seeing 3-man trying to compensate for his teammate's shortcomings as he pushes in. He has got 2 players to worry about, though. When the crossfire is set up, he just walks out into his demise. Crispy, quick to react there, takes his head off and secures a 7th round on the board for Alternate aTTaX. They've got so much money in the bank. I mean, Euronics, they really need to try and answer back. We saw them look very strong earlier on. They've had a good performance on this map in the past. The only thing that doesn't bode well for them is they have already came head-to-head with Alternate aTTaX on here in the past, and they lost it 16-8, which is quite a defiant victory for the side of Alternate aTTaX.
Yeah, that is very, very dominant, and Going into this 9th round, we are going to see aTTaX just put a bit of pressure very early on, deep into B. NK, he's already trying to catch them before they get to the stairs location. He's mollying out. That's going to land perfectly. Catches Scrunk before he can peek, and Failser as well, trying to take a bit of a fight, but with just a P250 here, it's not going to be the most lethal weapon at this kind of range. It wouldn't pull out the one-shot dink. Crispy, he's domed that AK to get some damage up, pushing out through the drop-down. They're going to be splitting through Plateau as well, but actually the pistol's going to wreak havoc. What is happening? Failser, he hits a long-range shot with a deagle, and now it will be a 2v2 as alternate aTTaX. They need to retrieve this bomb, but they are taking the A-site control in the meantime. I like this. Gimper's going to grab the bomb, he'll back off or push through the connector there through the drop down and join his teammate. He's already deep up into this A-site. So a 2v2 in play, 1 minute left on the clock or just over, and already these CTs are going to start a bit of a rotation as they have realised this may just be the A-site take that we're looking for. 53 seconds left.
And there we go. Seriously, being so pushed up, able to drop out. 3 men with no resistance. Failser wasn't close enough to trade things out. He's trying to push through. Going to go through the smoke. And he's going to pay the price for it. Sorry. If he continues this, gets caught out. His legs just peeking through the bottom. And Seriously, with his aim holding true, finds that kill. 1-8. Already aTTaX have reached that margin that I said they would need to get in order to have a very, very good shot of taking this convincingly. I think if we see them get up into the double digits, then Euronics are going to have a very hard time fighting back on the T side.
The thing is, you've got to look at it like this. Alternate aTTaX pretty much already have their T side. Let's say, hypothetically, Euronics pick up the next 6 rounds of the half, okay? It doesn't matter. Alternate aTTaX have still got their T side, and it's unlikely we're going to see a 6-round streak from the Euronics side. So it's looking very good for Alternate aTTaX in this first half already, and that just goes to show the kind of level of experience these guys have. I mean, they played in E-League. Yes, they bombed out with a max of 17 rounds over 3 maps, but they, at least qualified. They've got to that kind of level. They played against these top-tier teams that Euronics haven't had the experience playing against, and you can just see the confidence is already on their side. NK, he's going to be jumping out of the connector, securing himself a kill. Tizzy and taps out on David, and while these CTs will be rotating alternate aTTaX, they are looking very good. The rotation's back towards this B site, grabbing the bomb in the meantime, and this will be the full B take, but Scrunk, he's very close behind.
He's really going to have to be the linchpin here into this one, coming up on the flank. No one's aware that he's there just there. Failser, he's held on this B site with such formidable power in the past. Can he replicate these results again up against alternate aTTaX? An entirely different monster. He doesn't need to. Scrunk comes in from behind, drops out Crispy. That's going to be bombed down, goes for the repeat, and should be able to find this frag. It's Failser to back him up. Gimpen's going to fall, and now it's all on NKJ. 1 versus 3, 4 HP to his name, an AK, and a bucket full of dreams. All that stand between him and that bomb. Nope.
Oh, no.
And nade. And that nade, which, yeah, well, it's going to go 2-8. They can afford to lose a couple of rounds here and there. Hopefully, this is where Euronics make their resurgence.
Yeah, that could be a potential chance for them to bring this one back, but still. Alternate aTTaX, they do now have the avenue for a reset. If they pick up this next round, the loss bonus accumulated by Euronics is going to be reset back down to $1,400, meaning that they are going to be down on the double eco. I mean, they have a little bit of reserve money, so maybe only a single eco, depending on what their economy is like, but still not the kind of situation you want to be in after being 8-2 down. So it's really, really pressuring. They do have to pick up a couple more in a row to build up this bank to allow them to buy up after losing rounds, and that's so difficult on the CT side as well. Economy is so up and down, so it is going to be a little bit of a difficulty, but David at least going to be kicking things off on the right foot. Taking down Tizian straight away over in the drop down. No more aggression from alternate aTTaX as they drop in a molly, force him out of that position, but he has no problem with playing passive. They found this man advantage. There's no point giving away any more early frags, and alternate aTTaX, they've even taken pressure back off of the drop down, and they're moving the players back towards A for this take.
So the Euronics in a fairly good position right now. They've got 2 players over here towards A. David K in a position to rotate nice and quickly, and Scrunk being boosted up. It's quite a nice angle. Normally, they will of course check it, but he can potentially get a couple of frags just off the cuff of playing such an unexpected position. Issue is he's relying very heavily on 3 men to back him up, and as that flash comes through, he has to fall over towards long. Goes aggressive. He's going to be paying the price for it. Sorry, as Gimpert takes him out. Crispy in from mid, able to make quick work of David K, who still has yet to have much of an impact into this. NKJ drops 3 minutes. This A site hold just being completely decimated. Otto has to try and pick up the pieces. Going to get one. He continues the aggression going, but it's right over from. With that to take him down, leaving it all on Failser now. 1 versus 3. He's got an AWP in hand. But I mean, what more can he do? Probably just going to have to fall back and save. It's going to go 2-9. And alternate attacks, they have a very dominant lead.
And this is what we talked about, the reset coming in now. So Euronics, yes, they save this orb that they can juggle between their players in the next round, but at the end of the day, their loss bonus is going to be abysmal. If the scoreboard gets brought up soon, we can at least look. $1,400 they get for losing this round, and that is not the kind of position you want to be in when you're 8-2 down and soon to be 9-2. If he can even save this orb as well, he's not going to be able to. Crispy just denies it, and look at that. Look at the money on the side of Euronics. After this kind of decimation, this is not the situation they want to be in, and I wouldn't even be surprised if they bring up a force. I'd like to see an eco here though, because 3 of the players are around 3k, meaning after the $1,900 loss bonus, if they full eco this one, they could get a fairly decent buy up with a couple of pharmacies and maybe some M4s in the works as well. And they are going to full eco. They're aware of this. They're keeping their economy on top, and this is just clever. Instead of the double eco that you typically have to see, they should only have to eco once, assuming that my maths is correct, and which is probably not, but. Either way, a 92 is dominant no matter the situation here for alternate attacks.
Yeah, very much so, and it looks to be made even sweeter here as Gimpert pushes on out, reaps the rewards of that flashbang, finds 2 frags on the back of it. They continue on going, and it's David K next to fall, leaving it all on Scrunk, and he's going to be following his teammates to the grave shortly thereafter. 2-10 currently in alternate attacks, making this a very one-sided affair. Finally, Euronics can buy down. I mean, a lot of this is really going to fall on these next couple of rounds. If they can take it to a 5-10 scoreline, then, they're definitely in with a shot of still being able to hold on to this in the second half. If they lose this one, get their economy back in the dumps once again, aTTaX could very well take this to a 13-2. And at that point, I'm sorry, but I really don't see Euronics coming back from it.
Yeah, it's looking more and more likely by the second, but at least they have a buy up into this one. They have Bailey repeat. It could be so dangerous, but maybe Skunk's a little worse. Or maybe alternate attacks are, because they're already team killing. NK, he does redeem himself, gets himself a second kill after taking down his first teammate, but they're still fighting a man deficit here. Push out from the doors. David gets himself one. Trade comes through, and a second as well. Crispy's going to follow up onto Threeman. Now it's equalised, but look at the HP left on alternate attacks. 2 of them very tagged up. Oh, fails it! He misses the no-scope. Crispy takes him down. And Wildo may be able to round himself back onto this site. So alternate attacks, they have all the time in the world. If they don't want to commit to this site, they can just back off, and they've already done it. Pushing the bomb back towards the T-spawn area, and NK is going to be rotating in through the connector. So they spotted Otto crossing back towards the site, and they're just going to be backing off and going for the safe play. And this is way better of an idea, especially considering both of them, even with combined HP, is not even half of Otto's here. So that is a scary prospect to be up against. But take into account, they do have the utility to work with that Otto does not, as well as a lack of kit. So alternate attacks, getting this bomb down the site, 45 seconds left, and the retake is going to be on.
He does go for the smart play. They're going for this long flank. Renders their afterplant positions relatively useless. Drops that NKJ. Now it's all on Crispy, who is 16 HP. He's quite literally stuck between a rock and a hard place here. As Otto looks to try and check it. Looks away just the wrong time, though, and Crispy gets it. 15 HP at a dream. He gets 3 frags to complete the hat trick. And it goes 2-11 alternate attacks. They are dominating Euronics here. And I mean, suddenly I've come to rue everything I said.
Yeah, 11-2 is not the scoreline we were really expecting. I mean, we called Euronics to take this first map. This is not the kind of map pool we'd expect alternate attacks to thrive on. They had a bit of an issue taking out Penta earlier. It took them 3 maps to get rid of them, whereas Euronics cleaned up Division, in just a 2-0 fashion. But now it's just showing they're on a complete different level here, because alternate attacks are tearing Euronics apart, and poor guys to be there. But maybe they can bring it back later in the map. Sorry, David does kick it off with a kill, but that should be it here. Although Otto, what is this push? Otto? How does he miss that? That is horrendous. What?
Otto, what we're gonna do? We're just gonna delete the VOD. We're never gonna talk about that ever again. We'll let you down. No, it's fine. We're scared if this ever gets into the hands of Euronics, the team owner, you'll be dropped. So we're just gonna get rid of it. Pushes through the smoke there. Whiffs a whole mag of P250. Does do some good damage, but that's gonna be it. I don't know, that kind of speaks for itself, really. 2-12 right now, alternate attacks, 10 rounds ahead of Euronics. Looking to try and make quick work of them here on this first map.
Yeah, and they are doing an excellent job of doing so. Last round of the half, so let's get that 13-2 alternate attacks. That's what they're saying. They're hyped for this one. The thing is, I do love the respect on alternate attacks. They're not going for any kind of fast, stupid plays. They are just holding back. They're playing this one as passively as per usual. Aside from that peek from NK, but I mean, if it works, go for it. He's going to take down the AWP instantly. That is quite disgusting. The Molotov forcing fails are out. gets shot in the face as well. So aTTaX man advantage now and a complete back off of long, so no refrag from Euronics. They're just too late on that one. So this is a great start here from the alternate side. And once again, setting up for a slow push towards A with a bit of a split through this drop down if Tizian wants to do exactly that. But it's obviously a bit dangerous considering 3-man does have the potential to push up on the flank here. However, they're rotating the bomb back to B. It seems like it's a B take as Euronics. They've actually rotated these players back on the A site now, and I think Alternate may have a little bit of a read. I think Tizian may have heard these footsteps of the players rotating through the connector, and now he's going to be setting up with the rest of his buddies to go for this take, and there's no one on the B site. How do you rotate with no information, Euronics? This is really not the kind of mistake you should be making, and Tizian, he's going to catch out that first player. Nade in his hands, pants down, 3-man going to fall, and David as well. Gimpen, he does follow up, but it's going to just be Skrunk alone in a 1v5 on the last round of the half.
Oh, gonna land a nice little shot out of Gimpen, but sadly you're not gonna be awarded the win for nice little shots. Sricet coming up from behind, it makes quick work of him. It's gonna go 2-13, and Euronics, I mean, they've got to be crushed. Alternate attacks, they require to win the pistol round to end up 1 round away from a match point. If they take the anti-ecos, then this could very well be GG. So this pistol round is the most important round so far for Euronics here.
I think any round's important for them if they can just pick something up. This is not the kind of outcome they were really expecting, and I mean, even just looking at the map pool, this is, again, Alternate Attacks, not bad team on Cbble at all, but this is not one of their 2 best maps. The 2 best maps for Alternate Attacks are Dust 2 and Cache. Maps they are dominant on, maps they stomp on. Cache is just, it's like they don't lose Cache almost ever against, you know, even some better teams, some really good teams. So obviously Euronics vetoed this perfectly. They vetoed both Dust 2 and Cache, and somehow they're still ending up getting slaughtered on Cbble, a map they won earlier, 16-8 against Division. Obviously a different level, but still. But here we go. Push onto the B site. Euronics' last-ditch effort is going to be Gimpen. Very, very close, but he will go down without a fight. It's Euronics to get themselves 2 entries. Tizian follows up on the refrag, but the bomb going to go down in the meantime regardless. It's a 3v3. Searson, he's already back in with a kill himself, and now Euronics, they just have to play the close-range engagements with these clocks. They don't have to take these fights, but why? They're just taking every fight they can, and that's how you get cleaned up. Alternate Attacks. It gets gifted to them in a nice pink wrapped-up box with a bow, and that will be 14 rounds secured. Almost the map here. And as you said, 2 anti-ecos, and they've done it.
Yeah, I mean, the only silver lining, I wouldn't even say silver lining, it's kind of like
zinc lining.
I don't know, yeah, like zinc or copper. Something, you know, that's not that, not that great. Lining to this is they did get the bomb down, so they can afford to muster up a bit of a buy, and they are going to be investing in 3 UMPs, 2 Tech 9s, and a little bit of utility. Alternate Attacks, on the other hand, they've got a good few SMGs in play, 2 rifles as well. Should be used to make all the difference here. We can see that it is going to be some early aggression over towards long here for the side of Alternate Attacks. Sricet trying to spot someone out early on. Can't quite do it, but that Molotov going to hold them back. They do try taking control of drop down. Tizian's here though. He's got the M4 and he's kind of the one to beat as he takes out Otto. He still finds a second on the Skrunk. He's got 14 HP and he's still fragging like he's on 100. There's just no stopping him right now. Holding down a drop like a machine. Crisby meanwhile able to drop out fails. Looks for a second frag. He's hungry for it. Gonna get tagged down low, but the flash ultimately blinds David K, who's forced to fall on back, trying to make something happen on the back of this Tech 9, but there we go. NQJ takes him down with the MP9. Gimpen, meanwhile, guillotines 3-man over towards drop.
It's just such a surprise. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I hope this is just one map. I hope the second map doesn't have such a similar scoreline. And, you know, Euronics should not be missing out on this kind of map. I think Train, a map that maybe favours them more, although that's probably not difficult to favour you more than a 16-2, but a map that favours them more, maybe they'll get a better start off to this one. Oh, that's, yeah. No, I do agree. I do agree, Mr. Observer. Gimpen, he does deserve that commendation. So let's see how this final, or potentially final round goes. Maybe foreshadowing something here is Gimpen. He's actually going to kick off the round with a nice kill. Skrunk goes down, and now we just see 4 players remaining for Euronics straight off the bat, heading up towards long.
Yeah, they're slowly but surely making their way through like an iron fan fact. So however you say, you know, those iron shield formations. Not going to be the case though, because they don't have any shields. They've just got soft, fleshy skin. And Crisby, he's making quick work of it. Shuts down 2, looking for a third. It's NQJ meanwhile over towards mid to find 1, and there we go. Crisby takes his head off. It's going to go 16-2 as Alternate Attacks, they win out the first map in almost record-breaking time. That was incredibly fast, and that's going to be their first map of tonight's best of 3.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say after that. Not the kind of prediction we really had up our sleeves, but regardless, there's no one more deserving than aTTaX for that win. There will be obviously more matches coming up, or another map at least, to see if Euronics have anything to say about that, if they can come back with a win. And, I mean, as unlikely as that is after watching such a decimation, they did play their heart out, aTTaX, and they definitely deserve it more than anyone else here. It seems like they are going to be in the runnings to win the ESL Meisterschaft 2016 Winter Cup. So that is looking very likely, and obviously not only pride you get with that, but you also get a nice pocket money of 7,500 euros. So obviously we're going to go for a short break before that. Oh, I was about to say final map. That's a bit of BM. Before the potentially final map here for aTTaX. Back on train. We'll see you in a few minutes.